Hey, it's Clay, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol RBIZ. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So while this here may look like several days worth of time, it's actually just today's price action broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like to this time frame. I think it's a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price, and then makes mapping out levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. Did this analysis a couple days ago. Obviously, the markets were closed yesterday for the 4th, but that's where the red and green line annotations are coming from. And I'm going to do a few updates here, but first I'm going to do is a little house cleaning, get rid of that line. Sure, it still pertains, just not relevant right now, and I don't want to have lines everywhere and risk causing clutter and confusion. But the first update does come about based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So any sort of bounce to the upside at 0085, which was that level of support from the last video I did, that would now be considered that near-term level of resistance. So yeah, up there, above a penny, there's some resistance levels. But before you start talking about doing battle with anything above a penny, the bulls first need to prove themselves. And what do I mean by prove themselves? Well, let's see if the price can not only get back up above 0085, but then stay up above it. Now, from a big picture perspective, though, this is where the chart gets pretty tricky, just from more so, like I said, a presentation standpoint, because there's a lot of perspective that goes into it. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a day trader, flipper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought there or you bought right there, then yeah, from that perspective, the chart looks pretty bad for you, where if you wanted to buy and then day trade or flip out of it really quickly, yeah, things are looking shaky. But if you care about the big picture of things, yeah, I'm well aware that from the highs, there was a pretty big pullback. But big picture-wise, the bulls still have plenty of opportunity to build a higher base, and as long as you have higher bases being built over time, that's the name of the game. Now, I'm not saying this will happen, but just to kind of illustrate why I would still call the overall chart bullish, which may sound crazy to some given the pullback, but like I said, it's all about perspective. Let's say the price actually comes down here to this green line that I talked about before at 0065-ish area, does something like that, and then heads upwards. What would you still have in this situation? Emphasis on big picture. Well, from the big picture perspective, you'd have a set of lows there, you'd have a set of lows there, you'd have a set of lows there, you'd have a set of lows right there if you picture these as stair steps. Then from the big picture, you still very clearly have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction, and that's the name of the game. I'm fully aware that, like I said, if you're a flipper or day trader and you bought a pair, then yeah, I sound crazy right now. But that's why I kind of offered up a disclaimer that, these comments are being made from the grand scheme of things perspective. So sure, today the price pulled back, but stop and think about that word, today. As in 1 day. Looking at multiple days, which is what we're doing here, you can see the bulls still clearly have an opportunity to build a higher base. So let's see if they can get that job done or not. One of the biggest questions I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.